What's up, YouTube? This is your girl, Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queens, all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time joining me on today, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. Also, if you guys are interested in tarot, feel free to go hit up Melanated Crowns. My girl, Lovely Lee at Melanated Crowns. She is amazing. She's a tarot reader and a medium. And I mean, y'all know me. I would not promote or advocate or recommend anyone unless they were top tier. And she truly is gifted at what she does. She has the gift of discernment, of spirit, and she's super professional, super pleasant, and knowledgeable. She knows what she's talking about. So you guys go and hit her up for all of your tarot, psychic, mediumship needs. She also does counseling, so life counseling. She's a life coach, all that good stuff. Go get your Ayanna Van Zandt on, and she has super affordable rates. And tell her I sent you, okay? So now that that's said and done, let's go ahead and get into the topic of today's reading, which is a continuation from yesterday. I wanted to discuss the transits that were taking place during the time Pop Smoke was killed, just because I, thought that they would be pretty interesting, okay, to discuss. So let's go ahead and get started. So the time that I ended up using was around 10 o'clock p.m. on February the 18th. I think he was killed either later that night or early on the morning of the 19th. So somewhere around that time frame, which is close enough for the most part to kind of get an accurate depiction as to like what type of energies were at play during that time. And based off of the placeholder that I used for his ascendant, which was midnight, okay, this would have made him an Aries ascendant. So, I mean, yeah, give or take, it actually does make sense when you take into account the way that it's being aspected. But that's just the placeholder that I use, so we don't know 100% for certain without his actual birth time. Nonetheless, transiting Sun was at the 29th degree of Aquarius during this time. And that number 29 is very significant because it is the anaretic degree, the crisis degree, and it could actually deal with home invasions, break-ins, which to my knowledge, he was killed during a home invasion, okay? It could also denote violence, shootings as well, family issues, sudden and shocking events, which definitely compounds that Aquarian energy. So that Aquarius season definitely went out with a bang in that regards. But the 29th degree can also point towards head injuries, which makes me wonder if he was shot in the head. There could have also been a strong possibility of him being shot in the stomach or chest area as well. Now, transiting Sun was forming a square to his Chiron, which is at the 27th degree of Scorpio. Now, that number 27 breaks down to 9, which also reinforces this theme of firearms, weaponry, violence, and conflict. So you can even look at this square as, him dying, quite literally, like a sudden death, especially with that sun at the 29th degree like that. You could even look at that as him dying in his home. Transiting Pluto was also opposing his sun as well. So, I mean, once again, especially with him being a Cancer sun, Cancer deals with the home. That deals with him being killed in his home. And he actually had quite a few death transits going on. And one of the biggest death transits that I noticed is actually the fact that transiting Pluto is squaring his ascendant. Now, granted, I mean, we could take it with a grain of salt, just due to the fact that we do not have his actual birth time. However, based off of the other aspects at play, it's very consistent. It's very consistent with this theme of death. I mean, now granted, most people do experience like a very heavy Pluto transit from time to time. or at least for once of a very long time, because Pluto takes forever to transit through the signs. However, my point is, Pluto in negative aspects to your ascendant does not necessarily always have to translate into death. So I don't want you guys freaking out or saying like, oh my God, I got, transiting Pluto squared, blah, blah, blah. Or my natal Pluto is squared, my blah, blah, blah. I'm going to die. No, I'm not. We're all going to die, but it takes other aspects to kind of activate that energy. So it takes literally like a combination of things would have to be going on. Now, in Pop Smoke's case, all of the ingredients were there to make the recipe, and it just so happens he was just in the middle of like a nasty death transit. And in addition to that, transiting Pluto was squaring his Libra moon, okay, which deals with him being watched by others, being attacked in his home once again by an enemy, but not just any type of enemy, because Libra does deal with open enemies. But even when you take that Libra energy into account, this kind of reinforces this theme of him being set up, because it's very strategic. Libra is the sign of ambush, okay? So it points towards him being strategically plotted on in a situation. So maybe he even knew who these people were up close and personal, or had some type of association or affiliation with the people who actually pulled the trigger. Picture that as somebody waiting for the perfect moment to just turn up and pop off and do what they want to do. Also, might I add, with him being a Cancer sun, especially having his sun in opposition to that Pluto there, I would say that definitely reinforces this theme of gang-related activity. I really feel like this is a gang-related event that was orchestrated by people that he knew and trusted. And I'm sticking with that. I'm riding that out to the end, because even looking at his natal chart, a lot of these transit aspects echo some of the aspects that were in his birth chart. So transiting Uranus, which is at the 3rd degree of Taurus, is squaring his Neptune. Now, this also makes me wonder if there were any issues involving money, or if somebody stole money from him, or if he stole money from someone else. But it could also reinforce this theme, this concept, especially with his Neptune in Aquarius, okay? Conjoined to his Aquarius South Node, this theme of him being set up by friends. Once again, him being victimized by his affiliations with people. Transiting Saturn, which was at the 27th degree of Capricorn, was forming an opposition to his sun at the 26th degree of Cancer. And that in and of itself could even point towards his home being under heavy surveillance around the time that this occurred. And if I were a conspiracy theorist, I would actually implicate the police. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, only the police are capable of that level of surveillance. The same thing goes for transiting Saturn, squaring his ascendant. It's like I said, the pieces are kind of fragmented. Like I said, I don't really know much about this guy, I guess, which I like in some ways, because it definitely takes away a lot of the bias present, and it makes this reading a lot more authentic. But yeah, like I said, if I were a conspiracy theorist, just based off of speculation, I don't have a motive. Like I said, I don't know much about this guy, but I do know based off of his natal chart, he definitely was the type to make a lot of enemies. Based off of, things that he did intentionally and, unintentionally, just being who he is and living his truth. So, I don't know. But at the very least, I feel like he was studied. He was watched for a very long time. His home was watched and studied for a very long time. I guess by who is a really good question. But yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. But I did want to just kind of point out some of those factors that were going on that definitely contributed to his murder, his untimely murder. So you guys drop down in the comment section, and once again, feel free to share your thoughts if you were a Pop Smoke fan. And yeah, y'all make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And as always, until the next video, I holla.